So, welcome to our show about honoring fine art. And today's guest is Giovanna Rotondo Stuart. Giovanna was
Good
Orlando
afternoon.
Sora's model in many of his paintings that she has, and she has written numerous books about his art and his life. So, Orlando was born in Italy in 1903 and lived in Lecco, Italy on Lake Como until his death in 1981. And today we're going to be talking in detail with about 28 paintings at least. And Giovanna, thank you for being on honoring fine art.
Even more than 20 years.
No, we're going to be talking about 28 paintings for sure.
Oh, 28 paintings.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Which cover a long time.
a
Those
long
28.
So before we get started, tell us a little bit about Orlando, what you know about him. I'd love to hear as much as you know.
Well, I know a lot just because he told me things about his life. But I was a little girl when I met him. Actually, I didn't meet him. He stopped me. I was 16, 17. He was walking around with his son. And he asked me if he could paint me. That's it.
Okay.
It was very shocking because I didn't even know what a painting was actually, or what painting someone was. I didn't know really anything. I was very young, and I came from the south, and my family was kind of not really well knowledged about paintings, and I didn't really know anything. I learned everything from that moment on. I liked paintings. When I began to go in the studio, I looked at Sora's paintings. I found that they were something very beautiful. So it was like another world, stepping into another world.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. That was the beginning, anyway. So my first portrait was in 1958.
How old were you at that point?
16.
Wow.
Just
Okay.
turned 16.
Okay.
So it's a long time ago. I mean, really a long time ago.
Wow.
He
And
was,
that was in Lecco, right? Was that Lecco where you met him?
yeah,
Yeah.
I was in Lecco. I was in Lecco with my family, and he was living in Lecco.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was in his early 50s. He was very handsome. He had few kids, all big, because he married rather young. Actually, he married at 30 years old. He had already 3 kids, so he had to work hard to support the family.
And
And
he was able to support the family being
just
an
two
artist. Was he?
paintings. It was very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
That was something that he always used to say. He said that it was really difficult to be a painter only. In fact, today there is not a painter. Uh, paint artists have a very difficult life.
Hmm.
Very,
Yeah.
very often, not always, but very often. So they teach or they do something else. And I remember it was really used to paint to make a living. He used to do portraits and paint Madonnas. But some of them, even if they were for living, were very pretty. Some really a masterpiece. But anyway, he was a great painter, and no problem about that. It's not that I say it. You can see it. You can judge. You
Ta-
can.
Yeah.
When I go to the National Gallery, when I am in the US, and I like the National Gallery, and not only the National Gallery, I look there and I say, "Oh, it could stay here." So 1 year, 5 or 6 years ago, I said, I get a painting and I give it to them. But then, then in the end, I didn't have the courage of not to give the painting to the National Gallery, to depart from the painting. So I
Yeah.
didn't give it to them. I kept it.
Good, 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 good.
Yeah, I
So
think I think it was okay.
talk about the different periods of his style when he first started and then his midlife and towards the end of his life. And then we'll
We,
go through the paintings, but
yes, because the 20s, after the First World War, after the futurist period, people felt like they had to go back to classics. So, and he had some beautiful things. He was part of a group, and he moved from the middle of Italy, where he was born in a little town by the sea, not very, just a little town by the sea. It was
Mhm.
almost a century ago, actually. So a century ago, a little town by the sea was really a little town, I guess, not only in Italy, everywhere in the world. He moved to Milano to study at the academy, mm,
Mhm.
paintings, the nude figure, and all that kind of things. And he became, he was part of a group where he followed not too much, but a little bit the style and the way of the moment. Was the 20s in Italy and in Europe, I don't know, in the US, we had a movement called Realismo Magico, which in English, I think you say magical realism.
Mhm.
It's not hyper realism, but it's a beautiful dream like realism. And yeah, yes, some very pretty paintings in
Let
that
me
time.
is this one of them? Let me just see if is this one of that period or no?
No, I wouldn't call this is just a very uh, that's 1928.
Okay. So
Thinking the Sora was 25 years old. That's really, for a 25 years old, this is really something beautiful. But there is a couple more. I think I put it in, in the series, like My Girlfriend and The Two
is
Ladies. This that's what we call realismo magico, but it's really, really, that's 1927. And
wow.
this is really a beautiful painting. I mean, like, I went to a collection in one of our big museum, and I didn't see anything as pretty as this of that time. The two
Is that
ladies.
is she holding a doll? What is she
Yeah.
what's the name of this do you know what the name is of this one?
Uh, this painting is called The Two Ladies,
Two ladies. Okay.
a mother and a daughter.
Oh,
But
okay.
we don't know much about it because I discovered it. I never saw this painting when Sora was alive. I just
Oh.
discovered it by chance, and I liked it really very much. And it is a remarkable painting of this period called magic realism.
Is
There
is
are,
this is this one also tell us is that from
and
the
this
same
too,
period?
my girlfriend, I would put this in the same. It's 1927. I
Mhm.
would call it realismo magico, as we say,
Mhm.
and she became his wife.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my girlfriend, and he said he had moved to the north to conquer the world, and after 2 years was married to this pretty, very, very pretty girl.
Did you
And
know her also?
oh yeah,
Mhm. What was her
and
name?
Matilda.
Matilda.
And they had 3 kids. Came to Lecco to live after the first one. Lecco is a beautiful town. Anyway, was a beautiful town. Now it's full of traffic. But at that time, with the mountains and the lake, the
Lake
color
Como.
was was, yes, on Lake Como. The colors of the town was really beautiful.
I think there's a. I
Now
think
it's a smelly town because the traffic is so bad.
yeah,
Pity.
yeah.
And this is really beautiful. I don't know what happened to it. Is someone has it? I don't know. Things move around. And of some, we kept track. But of this, actually, I don't know where and who has it. A
Hopefully
private.
the family, because I mean, look at
Oh, yeah.
her eyes. Her eyes are spectacular. Did she have those greenish brown eyes?
Yes, she was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Even when she was an older lady.
Wow.
Very beautiful.
So
All the
here,
kids had blue eyes. Sora was very dark. His wife had very uh, light blue eyes, and the three kids had very light blue eyes.
oh,
Yeah, very strange. Both
very.
of the three of them.
So Orlando used, I'm assuming, oil, or was that
Oil. Yeah, that's an oil. He did also uh, other um, water color a lot, but
there?
oil was his favorite way of painting. Anyway, he could express himself deeply in this type of painting.
All right.
On
So here's another one. Is that also from the same period?
no, that's 6, 7 years after. This is 1935, I would say,
Okay.
and
Okay.
is Matilda with the two bigger girls.
Yeah. And does the family or does somebody have this painting still? Or is that
I don't know who. I know some of the paintings who has some at the museum. We have the gallery here has several paintings of Sora, and there is a part dedicated to him. I think two
blackout?
walls. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. It's well, Echo is an open air museum. There are paintings of Sora everywhere. Private family museum, churches,
yeah.
buildings, theater. There is a lot.
He was very famous. So here's a new.
He got very famous in the 20s. Oh, this is one of the articles
Yeah.
someone wrote anyway. That's
Do you-
oh yes, this was written for when my first book was on Sora was published in 2015, so practically 7, 8 years ago. Because finally, for before I wrote this book for couple of couple of 10 years, 20 years, Sora was kind of forgotten. So I didn't think it was nice.
oh,
And I put together all, he was dead. After this, when he died, this happened in 1980, died. And kind of for a while he was forgotten. Not really forgotten, but no one thought about him anymore. So I thought that wasn't right. So I collected all my souvenirs. I remember episodes of his life, and I put it down. I picked up a series of paintings, and that was the book.
okay.
I would say it's not a catalog. It describes us um, a, a journalist, a critic, how you say, art critic said, I practically described him. He painted me, but I described him in this book. So parts inverted.
So here was.
I like the book. Anyway, it was sold out and we reprinted, and I translated in English, and it should come out in English too now. You can
So
order wherever you want.
here is, I guess, a drawing of Orlando. Is
Oh
that
yeah, it was very young. It
a?
must have been 20. It was very handsome. It must have been 22, 23 at that
So
time.
when he drew it, do you remember any of his techniques of drawing it? Would he just free draw it, or would he?
Well, it was whenever he was around and he saw something that he liked, he stopped and made a sketch. No, on his sketches, he made signs, the color, and then he did a drawing. Usually, he used that was a pencil, a reddish pencil. Has a name in Italian, but I don't know in English. It's called sanguigna. I don't know how you call it. But he painted. He had a desk with all the paints. That was silly. I forgot to show you. I probably show it on the book. His studio, and
Oh, I'd love to see that.
Table with all the paints that he made. He mixed by himself. He did not have the tubes. I see if I can find on the book.
Okay.
Because it's nice to see. Didn't think to send it to you, but I should have it here on the first pages. Yeah, the studio here. It was really. Tell me if you see it.
Yep, move it up a little bit more.
Oh, up.
Up. Yeah, up even more. More. Up. There we go.
You see the studio with all the paints?
Oh, I love that. And all the pictures of. So did he also work with pictures, photographs, or did he? Well,
No. He really didn't use it. Even when he had people that ordered him many. How do you say the
commissions,
families order him a portrait. It was a fashion in the 30s, 40s. He made them just sitting there. He didn't use a photograph.
like this one here.
That's me. That was this was my first painting when I was 16 in 1958. He sat me there, painted.
What do you remember about that day? What were you thinking when you were sitting there?
Oh, I liked it. Well, I don't remember what I was thinking, but I was fascinated. The studio with all those paintings, it fascinated me. I felt like Alice in Wonderland, something like. So I liked it. I sat there and I forgot I was sitting there, period. I could have stayed there forever.
What's the story of this painting? Who has it? Where has it been?
Oh, these. I know someone bought it long time ago, and it's hanging in their living room. I don't know the people. Someone told me that. Even now and then, someone tells me that I saw a painting that looks like it should have been you when you were young. Okay, that's it. But I forgot to say something about Sora. In the 20s and 30s, when he went to Milano and studied, he became very, very famous. I mean, really famous. He had exposition with the most famous painters of the time.
Mhm.
But then he left Milano, which was, how could I say, a center of art, and came to this little town by the lake where he worked very retired. And he got out of the uh, flowing crowd, I don't know I would call it. He had a different life, mm, much more quiet, much more painting in his own, in his own.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was a very reserved person, very simple. I would say he didn't like crowd, he didn't like to stay
Mhm.
to have parties and that kind of stuff. It was not the type of person. He liked to play the guitar. He's been a very, very good guitarist. Classical, he played classical guitar. And the last 20, 30 years of his life, became a concertist. So it was what you call an artist all around
Renaissance man.
Renaissance man. That's it.
Absolutely. Yes.
So he said he would have liked to make sculpture too, but life is too short to do everything. But he was really all round man, a Renaissance man. He liked to read, uh, especially he liked to read music. He said that we read books. He read music and played it. And reading music is like reading a book, but you have different uh, sounds. It's not just silent like a book. The, the convention of the notes
Mhm.
as a language is a language too.
How did he pick that up? I mean, did he always play the guitar?
He said the music really fascinated him, and he began to study guitar around his late 20s. And he never stopped.
Hmm.
And
Do any of his kids play, or do any of his kids paint?
not that I know, not that I know. His son liked graphics, and he tried to do. He did graphics, but
Hmm.
no one of them painted.
Okay. So tell me about this painting. That looks like you.
Yeah, I was 20.
So it was a
I
little
I
bit.
remember. I remember the periods. I liked it very much. The funny thing is, if I would have asked Sora, he would have given it to me, but I didn't. I didn't ask him, and one day he sold it. I don't know who was it. I'm really sorry because I would have liked to have this. It was a very, very pretty little portrait.
I wonder who bought it.
Ma,
No.
Sora worked a lot. I mean, really a lot. He
Yeah.
has a wide production between portrait, landscapes, compositions of dreaming compositions. He really worked a lot. And the frescoes, and he did also graffiti, mosaics. He did everything.
And were his parents artistic? I mean, what was his inspiration to be an artist?
Well, I mean, talent is born with you.
Mhm.
I mean, I like art, but I try to paint, but I laugh. My hands don't move. Like, you are born with a beautiful voice. I could try and sing, but I would be like a frog. So if I sang, yes, you can have a talent, but if you don't work and study, your talent gets wasted.
Yeah. Yeah. So talk to me about this painting. We've been looking at a lot of figures. What about this one?
Oh, Landscape of Venice. Yeah,
Beautiful.
1937. That was an original landscape for the time. Venice in a gray day
Wow.
with a skyline far away. I like that. I like some of Sora's landscapes. He has some very beautiful ones.
Did he do that on location, do you know, or did he work by
Well, he probably was going by because I've seen him mm, making sketches of landscapes,
yeah,
stopping the car and just drawing. Sometimes in a piece of paper, just not much bigger than a stamp.
yeah.
And after, when he went back, he painted. But he put the lines, the major lines, on a piece of paper. He had a kind of wallet with these little papers that no one could read actually.
Talking about where the shadows are, maybe, and where the
Yeah, the colors
yeah,
probably put in a I don't know, a blue for a B for blue or an R for red or
yeah.
uh, for shadow for clouds to remember.
Did he use a camera much, or it was
No,
mostly
I don't think he could even be able to take a picture. It was not very practical. Don't forget that there was
after the war?
technology didn't exist at that
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
actually, because if I think about it was yes, we had television, but uh, well, there were good cameras, but I don't think camera had one. I really don't think.
Did you ever get to travel with him? This next one looks like another
Yeah. Oh, that's
state.
another one. I like this. This is 1937 to the same year of the other one, and it's Lecco at that time was an industrial town because it has one of the most beautiful landscapes in the world, I think. But the town was industrial, and that's
Hmm.
up the hill. Now, now that area is completely changed. You
Hmm.
wouldn't recognize it. And this is the museum in Lecco. You can go and see it.
It's
And
it's lighter color than the Venice one. Is that also oil?
yes,
Hmm.
no, it's not a watercolor. It
I
looks
know.
like
Yeah.
well, it's a style because that period was post-impressionistic, I would say, realismo magico, post-impressionism. But there was also a group of painters in Lombardy. It was just local to make um, clear, to make the color clear. Put a hand of white uh, on the piece. I don't know how you call it. The thing with the paint on. How you call it in English?
The paintbrush? No.
No, not a paintbrush. They just you get a piece of wood or whatever and just put a where you have to paint or
Mhm.
I have to go and look the name of this
So the
material.
palette, the palette, the the palette where you put
No, this is a piece of wood and you paint on this. How you call it?
the canvas. Yeah.
Ah, the
I
canvas. Oh, that was the word. You get a canvas. It can be anything, you know.
yeah.
And on the canvas, they put a hand of white and they painted on the white. So the colors were kind of like this. It lasted in the 30s for not for a long time.
Do you remember how he started his paintings? Did he
Well,
cut
I don't know because I wasn't born. You know, I know I am an old lady, but I wasn't born in
no,
1937.
no. When he decided to start a painting, did he sketch it out first, or did he wash it with like a brown? Did he color the
Yes,
canvas?
but when I saw him painting landscapes or anything else, he didn't put. He stopped putting a hand of white. That was just for a little time around the 30s. He just drew it with a piece of chalk.
Interesting. Okay. And then it would wash off with the oils.
Yeah.
Ah,
He
yeah, I
just,
love hearing that.
no, but sometimes he had on the canvas, he had some a whitish canvas because not always, but now that I think about, and after he would paint.
All right, let's go back to a portrait.
He was very good in his portraits. Were
I always think of Orlando as a portrait painter, but he does definitely have.
Oh, he could do beautiful landscapes,
Yeah.
and not only.
Yeah, before I switch to this next painting, I notice a lot of donkeys or horses in some of his paintings. Is there a story behind that?
He liked horses. He
He
liked
did.
donkeys. I never put. I didn't put any painting with donkeys, but he liked. I don't know if you ever
I do
read.
have a.
If you ever read Platero.
Is that this one?
No. That's a horse.
Okay, all right.
It's
I'm
not a
not sure
donkey.
if I have. I don't think I have the painting with the donkey.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't put it. There were some poetry about a Spanish poet, Jimenez,
Okay.
called Platero and I. Platero was the donkey, and his owner, and the owner and the donkey were very close. And the Platero, the owner of Platero, used to say that when his donkey was tired, he would get off and take him, sort of like these two together, the idea of the donkey and his owner going together, being friends and all that. And painted a lot of Platero and I.
Well,
Just
so he was, did he also write? I know he liked to read poetry,
no,
but
no, his writing, he was not, he couldn't speak, and he wrote normal letters but
yeah.
it was not as if I have a Platero and one of Platero, and he wasn't a great speaker. Here, that's Platero and the donkey.
Let's see, hold it up.
You see it?
Oh, yes. Oh, I've never seen that painting. Oh, wow. That must be later in his life when he got.
No, that was 1962 because I saw him painting this. I was there when he painted, and I put it in the book. And he used to read what. Now I won't read it to you because I should. It's written in Italian. I should translate it in English, and
It's okay. What was the gist of it?
my English was good a few years ago, but now I don't speak English ever. But he says, I treat Platero like you were a little child. And if the road becomes bad and difficult, and I am heavy on him, and I get heavy on him, I get off. So he won't get too tired. Anyway, he liked this poetry by Jimenez. And he wrote many paintings of Platero and his donkey. Do you see?
So he didn't actually own a donkey, but he just liked poetry. Yeah.
He liked the poetry. Yeah, he liked to.
Oh, that says he had a very soft, loving, kind side to him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was a very simple person, but he didn't. He was very reserved. Mm. He didn't think he was a genius like many people. Well, sometimes it happens that people think they are genius.
Yeah.
Uh, he worked, but I would say worked really like mm, not pretending to be an artist, like a worker. But he made culture the way he
Yeah.
worked. He created. It's very difficult to say it just off like this. But what he did was really what in life we try to look, study, and do in order to become better and improve ourselves. So
Do you think
he wasn't aware. He had it. He carried it with him.
do you think he was a happy man? Do you feel like he thought he had a happy life? I know it was hard being an artist with
Yeah, well, it was hard. I don't think he really cared much. The only thing he cared was painting or playing the guitar.
and he got
Mm.
to do that in his life.
He got to do that. He never thought I'm happy, I'm unhappy. He always thought, well, sometimes I remember not only me, but other people try and talk to him. He was always there looking at something, but he wasn't looking at anything. He was just imagining things. So someone like that doesn't even think about thinking if he's happy or not, because the only thing he wants to do is do a painting in one way or in the other way. And besides the paintings he did, he said to win his bread, how would you say in English? Besides that kind of paintings, he had a type of paintings that he liked to do because he liked to paint that way. And so he was not really, he didn't, couldn't care less. Well,
Yeah, I mean, that helps describe the type of man he was for sure.
yeah, well, sometimes he got backache, but apart from backache, I never saw him sick until when he died, the last year of his life, the last 6 months. He got sick, got a cancer, and after 6 months, he was dead.
Wow.
Well, we are, our life doesn't belong to us. That's for sure.
That's for sure. Well, I'm okay. Here is, I think,
Oh, yeah, I love this. I mean, I really like this painting. That's 1945. Children singing, a choir.
that's beautiful. Who has that now? Do you have that?
I wish I did. I don't know what's it. Oh no, I know. What? Yeah, I know it. It's
It,
it's really beautiful.
he's really coming into a very distinguished looking. He has a real look about his art now. It's very much Orlando.
He's moving on.
Hmm.
He's moving on. I
So
couldn't put I couldn't put more than these paintings, but there are so many others that I really like. But I just picked up some.
tell us about this one.
That's a he could paint little portraits like this. It's a little girl, the daughter of his life friend. He had a friend which was a writer. He became a famous writer, very famous. He was translated in every language, uh, practically, almost all.
Wow.
And now he's forgotten. He was in all the books, in school books for kids and not kids. And now he got forgotten. I'm trying to put him up out too. And that was the daughter of his life friend. They grew up together. One was a painter and one was a writer.
They were friends.
And they were friends. They were friends all their lives. It was called Fabio Tombari, and that's Mariolina.
Oh, was she about 6 when they painted that?
Yeah, more or less, around 5, 1942 or 43, that time. It's a very pretty little painting.
About this size, or are they bigger?
A little bit bigger than that.
So like that?
Yeah, like this.
Yeah. All right. How about this one? Oh, we talked about that's you. That was your very
Yeah.
first one.
I really didn't like much. Now I appreciate it more, but that time I thought, well, I saw myself a little bit plumpish and all that kind of stuff. No, it's a beautiful painting. This is definitely as a character. That time he was painting like this.
Yeah, that's very Orlando looking too. All of his paintings, you can tell, are his. I
But
mean,
the 30s were very different than the 60s. But it's always him. It has always this depth and these beautiful strokes. And I like this. This is Giovanna sleeping.
oh, how old were you there?
Oh, it was more or less the same time. This was 1961, 62. I have another one like that.
How
The
old
one
were you there?
I was 20,
Oh,
21,
yeah.
maximum 22. But in the newspaper, there was a sketch of, it was an unfinished, where I was sleeping. And it's more or less the same period. If you look at the paper.
Yeah. Do you have it?
No, the one you showed before.
Oh, that one. This one here. That one.
Yeah, that one. It's more or less the same. Here I had my hair were in a tail. How you call it when you, well, like that. Sometimes I forgot words. Well, I can say that age
Yeah.
gets on you because every now and then I forget words.
Well,
But it was the same period.
as
I don't know
this.
what happened to this either.
Wow. So what about this painting?
And this came after the one you saw before. That's the last portrait he did, because it was 1972. And then I had my 2 kids, one after the other one. Then he got sick and I got sick. So he died and I didn't.
How old were you there?
Now, Ian was born 1972. Oh, 30. No, more. Well, I wasn't that young, actually. But I was like that.
It's beautiful. Do you remember, were you at his studio? Were you at his studio when he did that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And that's oil. Is that a big painting?
Yes. It's big. I have it here in the house. This I have it.
This one you have. Okay. So do you remember how he started that painting? Was that also a sketch, or
No,
did he?
because I was sitting. I know he put the lines and he put the white behind. It's almost post-impressionistic too.
What is the name of this painting? Giovanna.
He never made names on paintings. Really, he didn't. The other people did. I've never really seen Sora. Just on frescoes, because, well, the frescoes were ordered by communities, so they
Leah,
wanted.
let's talk about those frescoes. So here is that this one? Yeah.
Yeah, the Day of Judgment, or Judgment Day, I don't know. And that's in a church in Lecco, and it's really, this is a fresco that can stand to the frescoes at the same level of Giotto, Masaccio. I don't know if you know anything about great painters uh, like Giotto was the beginning of the paintings. It was, and
So,
Masaccio was that time too.
so about what year was this that he did that? And
In 1951,
do you
when I
remember?
met,
I'm sorry.
well,
Go.
I didn't know him there. Also because I was a little girl. But when I met him, 5 or 6 years, he kept talking about this fresco because it had been his great desire to have the possibility of painting something like that. And this is the last painting. That's not a fresco. That's uh, an acrylic. And there is a lot of difference. But his style, since between 1951 and 1971, had really, really moved on. Mm, I
Yeah.
would call it, this is a fresco. The fresco you paint on a wet, how you call the plaster? Yeah, on a wet plaster, and it has to be wet because the fresco is then absorbed and goes deep in the wall, and you can remove it can stay forever. Acrylic, the one in the theater, is completely different. It's even an abstract work. It's not. It's another world. And acrylic, it's like a painting on a canvas. Quickly, you can. You don't need to have a wet wall. You can just paint it, and it's like a normal painting practically.
This looks like the theater in Lecco,
Yeah,
and then
that's the theater. The ceiling of the theater,
and where was this one?
and that's the church. Uh,
The church.
The
Okay.
church is very pretty. It's a modern, pretty church. I'm thinking if I must have the picture of the church. Maybe after I can show it to you. It's a
Is
pretty church and it's a pretty fresco, very, very pretty. And we just did something in the church because, yeah, show it to you. Here.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was the 120 years of Sora's death. So in the church, someone played the guitar, and
Oh,
someone spoke about his work, and it was very pretty because
oh,
the fresco is very pretty, and you can see the saved and the damned because that's the day of the judgment. It's beautiful, beautiful fresco, and it's a beautiful church.
do you know, did he tell you how he prepared to do that? Did he do a ton of drawings? I mean, what do you know about?
Yeah, you have it here too.
Oh,
That's an,
somebody's written about that. Good. Yeah.
oh, there it is. Can you see it?
Yep, I can.
Uh, well, you have to prepare a fresco. You have to
How-
have
Yeah.
giant piece of paper, and you have to draw on the piece of paper, and then you go with a little. It can be a big nail or a little wheel, and you go all through the drawing. Then you put the drawing on the fresh prepared plaster on the wall. Get some powder, black powder, and
Yeah,
you put
outline.
drawing and you go like that. You pat with the bag of black powder, and after when you take the paper away, you just paint the fresco. It has to be painted before the wall dries.
How long does it take to dry?
6 hours. You have to do. You do pieces at a time, maximum. Otherwise, it doesn't come out. The fresco has to go deep, has to mix with the inside. It can, with time, gets better and better and better.
So this acrylic, did you watch him paint that? Do you remember
Yeah,
the process of how he did that?
yeah. This was really difficult because for some reasons they put asbestos,
Oh no,
yeah, on the ceiling.
asbestos. Oh dear.
Yeah, unfortunately. In fact, now they are trying to take that off, saving the fresco, the acrylic, but I don't know. I, I,
Is that a
and
is that is that up on the ceiling or is that a
yeah,
different paint?
yeah, no. It's a particular of the nativity. It's up in the ceiling.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it right there. Are any of
Orlando, Sora. I don't
so
know. We see it now. It's closed. We haven't been able to see it. Uh, they they try to clean it from the
yeah,
uh, how you call it in English? Pest, abscess? No, how you call it?
that's asbestos.
Asbestos. But he had to paint on it, and I remember he wanted to stop. He wanted to stop because the paint wouldn't
Wouldn't take.
mix. And after he tried and tried, and after he found a way to paint, but it was really very difficult. And
It probably wasn't good for his health.
yeah, he died after, but I don't think it was because he didn't die with cancer in the lungs. I don't know. I'm not an expert. He had another type of cancer.
Mm, wow.
Maybe it was maybe it wouldn't have come so quick because he stayed 6 7 months up there trying to paint. Like Michelangelo with the Sistine Chapel. He had this tall uh, position
Yeah.
station where it to paint.
Is that on the ceiling? I think that's a separate painting. I
No,
don't know.
this a painting.
Yeah.
It's not a fresco. It's just a painting, and the, it's called the work. I like it. It's very deep. It's very spiritual. Sora's painting is very spiritual. Very always.
What year was this one painted about?
This is what we are looking now, watching now, or speaking about is all belong to the 60s, which is the time I know better.
Okay.
Late 50s, all through the 60s.
Is this one also the 60s?
Yes, 1963. Actually, it's written in the back and dedicated to. That's the landscape with the moon.
How did he ever talk to you about how he started doing the lines around the objects? I mean, how did that come about? Because that's so different looking from his earlier styles. So I mean, it's a
Well,
total
that was
progression.
it's moving on,
Yes,
moving from.
exactly.
Uh, but that's why he didn't care about what was going on around him, I guess, because he was always uh, trying to, I don't know, a painter. When we have seen Picasso, for instance, he has many periods. Was he aware of it? He came spontaneously. Did he work for it? No, you don't know. I guess there is something that moves them going on. In fact, the theater is kind of of abstract painting work.
Yeah. So
Anyway, it's completely different from the other mural. Totally. He has other murals though. He has many frescoes. He liked the fresco more than acrylic. He did also some graffiti. He did some pretty graffiti. Pity I didn't give you some. Maybe I find.
yeah, see if you have a book of it. He's so, yeah.
I can find it and send you one. But graffiti are very fun. And he was good in graffiti. So
Was that more modern art when you say that? Was that more modern art when you say graffiti?
graffiti is you have a wall
Mm-hmm.
and you go with a point and you just make a drawing. I don't know if I can get it up because I don't have it here.
Well, as long as we can talk about it. Yeah. I don't know if we can share it on here or not.
No, if I could get it off, yes, from here. The problem is if I can make it in. They're very interesting.
So what would you, if anybody is interested in Orlando, what would you want them to know about Orlando? What would you tell them? What's the number one thing that you want people to know about Orlando Soro?
And mostly to look at his paintings. There is one there that's very poetical. It's 1950. You didn't show it. I put it in because I like it.
Oh wait, which one is it? Which is it? That one?
This one, yeah. That's 1950. You can see the moving from the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, and this is flowers, fields and flowers. Camping Fiore, fields in flowers. Yeah.
Do you know?
I like it.
Do you know the story behind this? Is that supposed to be him?
No, I never asked. If it was now, I would. I never asked.
Mm-hmm. Did he start by putting dark down with the oil?
No, I think this is really a post-impressionistic thing where, impressionism was just the impression in open air. Post-impressionism wanted to go deeper, but he liked to paint like this. Then it became clear. This is like the one we saw before, the work.
The work. Yeah, let me find that one again.
I'm trying to understand where
there's the work. Oh, here's another.
Yeah, I thought I found this. I send it to you.
Okay, and I'll try and pull it up in here.
So you can see what graffiti are.
Yep, that's good.
The technology is really fantastic.
I'll pull it up on the.
And I'm not the best in the world. I hope I don't close everything because I'm not really.
But you can just come back in on that link that I sent you for this.
Well, I hope my English book will. This book that I translated.
Yeah, tell us how people can buy it. Well, how can people order it?
Oh, you can order anywhere. They're on Amazon or anywhere. Oh yeah, at the bookshop in Italy. But the English one is not out yet.
Right. What is this one here? Or was this must have been
an exposition.
Okay. There's,
That was an
he has a very distinguished style. You can definitely tell it's
Oh,
Orlando.
is that the one on here? Yeah, I sent you the graffiti. That
Right.
one was a fresco in a condominium, in the entrance of a condominium. The one of that poster there.
Come on.
Did you find it?
Nope, it hasn't come yet.
Oh, well, we come. I'll show you something if I find it.
Here's another one I didn't show yet about the boats.
Yeah, the boats. Yeah, so 3 or 4 of these the paintings with the boats. Look, I show it to you. That
It still hasn't come over yet.
I will. You showed this one. No, I have to move. Yeah, you see?
Oh
You
yeah.
see this?
That
And
is that
then,
this one. Yeah.
and then here, this. That's a little bit deeper.
Oh yeah.
Do you see?
Is that in the 70s or 60s when he started with heavy lines?
These are, yes, this is 1970. And that's another landscape. This is a pretty landscape too. And the one with the boats. And the other one with the boats and the sunset.
Okay, yeah.
I liked his landscapes. And that's Sora when he was around, when I met him, the way he was, practically. And I show you another part of his studio.
Mm-hmm.
You see? From another angle.
Yep.
With all the color paints that he mixed. Terre, they are called the terre, all the colors. And this is a fresco too. Pity I didn't keep it.
Let's see.
I gave it to his daughter because she said that she was sorry she didn't have a fresco, so I gave it to her.
Oh, nice.
Well, that's okay. But it was beautiful.
Okay.
And this, you see, here you put the sun and the moon. You liked to paint, I call that this subject in English. If I remember, I will tell you. In fact, I put it 2 or 3.
Yeah, I mean his style is so distinguishable. I mean, anybody can look at that and know that that's a Sora.
Oh yeah, here those are drawings of Sora.
Even his drawings look like his paintings with the thick lines.
Yeah,
I wonder
very often first he did a drawing in composition. Oh, this is something that I really like. This Annunciation, I really like it very much.
Oh yeah, that's you. Immediately, you can tell it's him. His work.
Yeah, these are all 60s. That's the difference. That was 1937. See, look at the difference between these. That's why I made this book like this. 1937, Annunciation. I have to go and look at the word in English for Annunciation. Where the angel goes to Mary to tell her that how you call it in English?
The Ascension?
No.
No.
No. And this is an Annunciation. That's 1963, 64. And the other one was 1967. You can see the difference.
Big difference. Absolutely. I mean, gosh, just go back to this style here from a long time ago. I mean,
Here, well, but this is in the middle. From that, he went by this, which is
and
not
then
bad. He was looking for a way. But then from the 60s that are remarkable, 60 are like this,
who
went to something that are really amazing, but it didn't last much. If I have a book, I'll show it to you. You wouldn't.
do you know where if he was influenced by another artist or it was just
No, he never went to see. Oh, that's the other Giovanna. One of the other Giovanna.
her name was also Giovanna. That wasn't you though, right?
What's the title? Ritratto in Celeste. It says portrait it's still the same dress though. And I was looking for some type of. Oh, that's Lecco. Look. No,
Hold it. Yeah, hold it up.
no, that's not Lecco. How can I do it?
Keep going to keep going.
Yeah, that's
Oh
Lecco.
yeah, that's Oh, and it's such a pretty town. Yeah.
And that's 1936 or 35.
Wow.
It's a very pretty painting of Lecco. Yeah. Yeah, I did. This is 1935. It is maternity. Yeah. Wait.
Oh wow. Do you think that's his family?
Oh yeah, always. He always painted his family up to that time. And and then there is a landscape. But that's a maternity.
I saw that. I wish I had downloaded it. That's powerful. I was able to get these graffitis up. And where were the graffitis painted?
Did you get the graffiti or not?
Yep.
Oh, there. You see, that's a graffiti. It's done on the wall.
Outside, like on an outside painting?
It's not a painting. This is inside in a factory in Lecco. That's the chocolate farm factory. And so here they ordered to make a graffito. This is done with a
a mural. A mural, maybe.
mural. Yes.
There we go. A mural. There we
go. And here is the growing of cocoa, not chocolate. I mean, that's the growing of the things of to make chocolate.
Was that
and
also
the other one is the growing of chocolate? So he did everything.
Acrylic? Was that acrylic on the wall?
No. It's a mural done with like you push a nail in the wall and make a stronger signs. In fact, they don't know how to move it.
Oh, is it like etched into there? Maybe? No.
It's not a painting. A graffiti. How you call graffiti in English? Probably you don't call it graffiti. Wait a minute.
It's a drawing with a pen. Was it a painting or a pencil?
Yeah, but with a strong one.
Yeah, you can really start to see
you can use something. You have to have not a pen, something very pointed, and you can use even pastels just to make the shadow. But I think graffiti is the word in English too.
Hmm.
Graffiti in English.
Not like a lithogram, like where they carve it out, like chisel out the lines.
Graffiti in English. The lines are made with a strong pointed tool.
So it kind of carves it out a little bit, maybe. Lithograph.
Graffiti is words or pictures that are written or drawn. No, but I want a definition of graffiti. Come si dice in inglese graffiti? Graffiti is the same. It's a technique. You do it on graffiti, you do it on walls mostly.
Hmm. Oh, I'm so glad to see those. I've never seen any of them, but even looking at them, look at the strong lines around each of
I have only these two, but he has some where there is just the sign on the wall.
Oh, that's considered art. Yep.
Well, the sign on the wall is with a composition.
Yep.
It can be a landscape or it can be a figure, a human figure or anything, an animal. He had even, just to show you.
Oops, it keeps going out. Hold on a second. I found one more. What is this? This looks like a book.
Yes. It's still this. There are two books. One with the black cover all around, and that one.
Mm-hmm.
That one has more. It has drawings in the end, and this one doesn't.
Okay.
Wait, I was looking for something. Here, he even did a glass. Do you see? That's glass.
Oh yeah, mosaic.
Glass mosaic.
It's so Orlando Sora looking with the dark lines around.
You like to do everything, but and I have another one. Look at that.
Is that in the church?
That's a graffito. Now, this was painted red, Pompeian red, and with this pointed tool, he drew all around. Look, that's what we call graffito. Can you see it?
Yeah, move a little. Yeah, there we go. Well, the other way. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we did that in art class in high school. Yeah, we would take a tool and like scrape it out, and then you.
Yeah, that's a graffito.
Yeah, they call it. I can't remember what they call it.
Graffito.
Graffito in Italian for sure.
Graffito.
Yeah,
is in English the same too, and it's. I've never seen it, but I would like to see it. So he did more or less everything, many things. Even a mosaic, but not on glass, a real mosaic. I don't know if I find it, but having done so much, we can even do that.
Yeah.
I can't. You know, with all the music, because he worked as a concertist too. The last, we don't have any recording of his music. Nothing.
Oh.
Graffiti. There, mosaic. That's incredible.
What is this one? Oh wait, yeah, we already did that one.
Mosaic was done. He didn't see it because when you prepare it, then they have to put it up. It's not the artist that puts it up.
Mm.
And he didn't see it because he died before.
Oh, I did not know there was a Pompeii red.
Oh, the Pompeii red was long. It wasn't one of the last. Yeah, I send you the mosaico.
Okay, let me pull it up just so we can start to build a.
Well, we have been talking over an hour.
Yeah, we can end, but I love to get one of the mosaics up.
I was looking. Didn't I send you a portrait of him with his two daughters? The 1937 too.
I got that.
And try to remember one thing. When you're looking for something, you don't find it. But anyway, I think we have gone through a lot.
We have gone through a lot, and thank you for taking the time out to enlighten me about Orlando Sora.
That's one of his frescoes in the square in Lecco, in a condominium.
No
And
kidding.
this is it's a very pretty too.
Gosh, next time I go there, I really want to see all those. I don't remember
Yeah,
seeing them.
I've never taken you on a tour.
No.
It's very interesting, to go on a tour. Because a lot of it is in the center. So
It's
you
there.
leave from the square and then you go up to the church. It's nice. Did you get the mosaic?
Nope, not yet. It is coming all the way from Italy. No.
Yeah, you should should be quick. I'll show you another thing and then I can talk up to tomorrow. That's not my problem.
I'm just glad to.
No, I don't find the other one. I just show you before. I don't know what happened to it. Here, I'll show you these 3 or 4. I give up.
And the other thing never came through on the email. Not yet.
No, I wanted to show you something, but here. No, the graffiti with the red Pompeian ceiling is 60s too. Like here, I wanted to show this kind of nudes. You see? Like this, he had a series of, because he liked the moon, he had a series of this kind of.
Oh, I've seen that before. Maybe I saw it in the book.
Yeah, there are 4 or 5 of those.
What's the story behind the moon and the sun in those paintings?
I don't know, he liked the moon, I guess, and the sunset.
Yeah.
Because the sunset is painted very often with a very dark and big sun.
Mm-hmm.
You see? This I liked it very much. It was very pretty painting.
That was in the 60s.
Wait. There was a series. No, can you see it?
Yeah, now we can see it. Yeah, it looks like a series.
There were a series of these paintings with little difference between one and the other one. And one day, and that was very nice. Then I understood too. I asked him why sometimes he painted the same thing. And he said that it's never the same thing because the light changes every second. So if you paint something 5 minutes after, the light is different, the shade are different, which you don't really think about. So He said there is never the same thing.
How long did it take to paint a picture like that?
It depended, sometimes couple of days, sometimes longer. It depends on his head if he liked it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes he just painted over it. And ever since working a lot on something and sometimes very little.
Yeah.
There wasn't really a rule. Even on portraits, it was like that.
Did he like to paint in the morning or the afternoon or at
He
night?
painted every morning and every afternoon, and then around in the winter stopped before. In the summer we painted longer, and then he washed every day. He washed brushes because
Mm-hmm.
otherwise really that was very accurate in that. And then he played guitar until dinner time. That was his day. And when he couldn't do it, he was really upset.
It probably calmed him down. How did he market his art, or did it? I mean, it was all word of mouth, I'm sure.
What do you mean? How did he market?
I mean,
He
how did he
decided.
sell his paintings? How did he sell them? How did people
He
find out?
never, he never went. He never went. That's why probably he never went to an antiquarian or someone or a merchant.
Agent.
People
Mhm.
people went to study in his studio to buy. He never got involved in the how could you call it, in the market. He hated.
Commercial.
He never took his paintings to a merchant, left them there. Uh, Never did. He became famous around this in the 27 was the first year he did in Milano. They used to have this mm, exposition in
Yeah.
a building of 3 or 4 floors and several painters together. And the first year he presented 50 paintings, some of the ones I showed you to. He sold them all, and the critics really discovered him. And from then on, from 10 years, every time he had an exposition, he sold everything. Mm. There are really remarkable papers of that time that spoke about him, saying that he was a really uh, the future of the Italian paintings and that kind of stuff. Then he got isolated, but he did. It was not the other ones that isolated him, but people kept going to buy his paintings in his studio, and he didn't have to go around selling it.
Mm-hmm.
For every now and then he did send his paintings to an exposition or something. He won a lot of prizes. I mean, he was an unknown painter, but he didn't go to Paris like some other painters that went after him and that they really couldn't care less to have. And they became very famous, but I don't know if in 50 years they will still be very famous, but he probably will because he has really. There are some really pretty paintings. Yeah, I showed you some, but there are very. He has a really a big production, and anyway, so I did my job. when
Yes, you did. Thank you so much for
No,
sharing all.
I did my job with Sora because I mean he died in the 80s. Then I was very busy growing up with my kids and taking care of my family and go to work. And
Yeah.
then in around 2000. After 2010, I said, well, I don't like the way he's treated. Let me sit down. I stopped working. I went to pension and I began to write, which is the thing I wanted to do all my life. But then I think I will stop because everybody writes, even people that don't have anything to do. But everybody wants to do something, leave a piece here before die, but it's not possible. I mean, so I said, basta. I won't write anymore.
Well, you have a number of books out. Your last
Oh
one
yeah,
was
I know. Yeah, but they are also doubt. So I should think about it. I have other things that I could publish, but I don't think I will. when I will be gone. And besides, I'm like Sora. I don't ask. I did everything by myself. I mean, I don't think anybody else really helped me. This book will not die because is it doesn't. It's not a catalog. He has a composition of everyday life that tells you how a situation was, and so I think we live after me, but I don't care. I mean, life. I told you before, it doesn't belong to us. I had a very important experience. I don't know if I hadn't met Sora, if my love with art would have been so strong. I think so, because I, I was one that read all the time.
Mhm.
I began reading before going to school, so I always read. Sooner or later, I would have gone there. I spent part of my life reading all night, but not just novels, uh, history, and that kind of stuff. So I don't know, but sometimes I think about. Hmm. Anyway, it was an opening. It gave me a lot.
Yes, definitely. The good thing about this platform is we could pull in up to 10 other people on the screen talking about Orlando. So if you ever have other people that want to talk about them, we could capture more history.
Yeah, well, I do it here every now and then because I have some mm, mm, movies where I put hundreds of his paintings and we we see and I speak about. I told you I don't speak English very often anymore, so it's kind of hard. But in
Right.
Italian, I think it's more. Uh, it's easier to. I see people like it, like it very much because it's nice to see all these paintings, all uh, the work there is from a period to the other one, all the passages, the moving on, the studying, and the searching. And I see people like it. I've gone around many times in
That
these last 5, 6 years.
that could be a documentary of just you giving the slideshow with the different paintings. That would be beautiful.
I don't know if I've done. There are some in
Videotape it next time.
YouTube. What did you say?
Videotape it when you give that presentation next time.
Yeah, I never done it. I don't even think about doing it. But there are some videos and some interviews around it, though. I found one. You were here when I found one that I had never
Yeah.
seen. It was pretty actually. At the presentation of the book, I didn't even know. Every now and then I found something on the internet I didn't even know was there. But
It would be
no,
a good detailed, like when you give the descriptions of the paintings, it would be a really nice detailed explanation of his artwork and him. So think about it next time when you do one of those presentations in Italian.
yeah, but people don't really want to know how he painted that painting. For frescoes, yes, the preparation and all that. But on the painting, there is not much to do because the preparation, all the colors you saw that we call terra, he mixed it. So he mixed
Wow.
it his own way. In fact,
That's a
he had
lot.
a kind of green, yellow that he called, I called green and he called it yellow. He mixed he had the primary colors and then he mixed them all. And he used an oil to mix them all. Okay.
He was a Renaissance man, and it's lovely that you've
Yeah,
captured.
he was. He was a Renaissance man, and he, his book was a book of someone called Cellino Cellini that said everything on how to paint in a fresco, how to mix color. This was a writer of the Renaissance time, Cellino Cellini.
Mhm.
Arte e mestiere. That was it.
What was Orlando's personality like? Was he talkative or quiet or reserved or?
He didn't talk much. He was very reserved. He was not very articulate in speaking.
He communicated with paintings.
Yeah. No, but he liked company. Not in the way that some people think about company, but before going to eat, he went to the bar and called and drank so-called canarino. Canarino was a cup of hot water with a peel of lemon in it. That was canarino. That
Yeah.
was it, because he had some kind of stomachache. He didn't drink anything. He never drank. He used to smoke and then he stopped smoking.
Mhm.
But so he sat there with some people that he liked to, but he was not a party goer. He wouldn't care less about going to a party. For that, I'm sure.
Well, thank you for sharing all that wonderful information about Orlando Sora. You have a grandson named after him, I think, right?
I tell you, the Sora doesn't have anything to do with it.
No?
The Orlando's mother didn't even know who Sora was. Absolutely. When they were in the hospital, she didn't want this name or that name. And one day I said, Orlando. I said, oh, that's nice. And she said, why? And I told her, I said, well, because that painter there is called Orlando. She looked at me, she said, I didn't know it.
Wow. Oh, wow.
That's,
I like to just think that he is named after him. Wow.
that's really funny. Well, my son knew it, but she didn't.
Maybe he had talked about it, but I don't know. But
Well, I
anyway,
don't know. It's one day I should, but I can't ask her any longer. I'll ask him though. But I remember he said that she didn't know it, and he didn't have anything to share with the name. Left her pick it up.
ah, well, let's plan. We could even do this again when I have the paintings more organized, if you want to. And
I can give you some others.
yeah, and we could do it again. I just really wanted to get as much
Well,
information,
wait when the book comes out in English.
and we'll do it again.
It's been there 2 years. I went to my editor last week. Yeah, last week. And he asked me, he said, what happened to the book? Because he said he wanted to put it on Amazon,
Yeah.
charge it on. And I said, it's there already. I only have to read it again. The problem is, when I begin to read it, and I stop at the third chapter because the telephone rings or something happens, then if I go back after a week, I begin to from the top, from the beginning, and I always stop. One day I have to take the telephone off, shut myself in, and read it from the beginning to the end, and then take it to him.
Good.
Uh,
Good. Good.
I wish someone will read it before though,
I
because
did. I did. I mean, I'll read it again, but I did edit it for you.
yeah, that
Oh,
will
yeah,
be
I sent
nice.
it back to you like
So before taking it to well, I won't do it for Christmas. I hate Christmas operations, but because now we are at the end of October, people are getting ready for Christmas. But
yeah,
in January, after Christmas,
absolutely. I went through all 70 pages in English. So, and I marked it up. So it's there.
that's very nice.
It's there. And
I'd be obliged. No, in January we let it go. When the book goes out in English, then we can do
we can
something
definitely do this
more
again.
more
Do it shorter.
articulate.
Yeah, we'll
No,
do it shorter, just more of a marketing piece, but talking about these, specific ones. So,
it would
'cause
be to have a tour in the town. Maybe I can ask Ian if he comes with me.
that
Make
would be great.
some every now and then stop and look at. It could be nice.
Giovanna, promise me you'll do that, or I'll fly back over there and do that. It has to
Well,
be.
you can fly back whenever you want.
So
And Ian is going to.
I'm gonna end this stream. Don't hang up though. Hold on a second. All right, hold on. Hold on.